Good afternoon and welcome to the weekly business meeting of the South Carolina Public Service Commission, and thank you for joining us. Today is Thursday, November 21st, 2024. It's approximately 2 p.m. Before we begin, would you please join me in a moment of silent reflection? Thank you very much. First, a roll call of commissioners present in the hearing room. We have Commissioners Belser, Commissioner Caston, Commissioner Thomas, and Vice Chair Williams, and I am Chair Powers. Joining us virtually today is Commissioner Carol Lee Williams. Mr. Scarborough, if you would, please proceed.
Good afternoon, Chair Powers, Vice Chair Williams, and Commissioners. First order of business is to set the next regularly scheduled business meeting. Staff recommends that the next Commission business meeting be held on Thursday, December 5th, 2024 at 2 o'clock p.m.
The next meeting will be December 5th at 2 o'clock.
Thank you, sir. Today we have 9 items on the utilities agenda and 17 items on the transportation agenda. Item number 1 on the utilities agenda is in docket number 2009-144C. This is a request from TracFone Wireless Incorporated, doing business as SafeLink Wireless, for confidential treatment of its South Carolina customer report for the third quarter of 2024.
Having heard item number 1 is presented by Ms. Scarborough. Is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Belser.
thank you. I move that the Commission grant the request of TracFone Wireless, Inc., doing business as SafeLink Wireless, Inc., for confidential treatment of its South Carolina customer report for the third quarter of 2024.
Thank you, Commissioner Belser. Is there any further discussion? If not, we'll have a roll call vote, beginning with Commissioner Belser.
I vote aye.
Commissioner Caston.
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Vice Chair Williams.
I vote aye.
Commissioner Williams.
Aye.
And I vote aye. The motion carries.
Item number 2 is in docket number 2022-309A. This is a request from Condor Environmental Incorporated for confidential treatment of the financial statements of Jason Weaver.
As to item number 2, do I hear a motion?
Chair Powers,
Commissioner Williams.
thank you. I move that the Commission grant the request of Condor Environmental Incorporated for confidential treatment of the financial statement of Jason Weaver.
Thank you, Commissioner Williams. Having heard the motion, is there any further discussion? Hearing none, we will have a roll call vote, beginning with Commissioner Williams.
I vote aye.
Commissioner Belser.
Aye.
Commissioner Caston.
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Vice Chair Williams.
Aye.
And I vote aye. The motion carries.
Item number 3 appears in dockets number 2025-15E, 2025-16E, and 2025-17E. This item involves the public interviews concerning the responses of PA Consulting Group Incorporated and London Economics LLC to the Commission solicitations numbered 54000-26622, 54000-26612, and 54000-26613.
As to item number 3, is there a motion?
Chair Powers,
Commissioner Thomas.
thank you. By order number 2024-716 dated October the 26th, 2024, the Commission set a procedural schedule to interview and select a qualified independent third-party consultant to assist the Commission in the 2025 avoided cost dockets as provided for in SC Code annotated section 58-41-20I. The schedule provided for comments or feedback from parties no later than Wednesday, November the 13th, 2024. Currently, the only parties to docket numbers 2025-15E, 2025-16E, and 2025-17E are the respective utilities: Dominion Energy South Carolina Incorporated, or DESC, Duke Energy Carolinas LLC, or DEC, and Duke Energy Progress LLC, or DEP. The Department of Consumer Affairs and the Office of Regulatory Staff. In an effort to reach potential interested parties, I move that the clerk's office extend the period for comments and provide notice to the other parties who participated in the 2023 avoided cost proceedings involving DESC, DEC, and DEP, so as to allow other potential parties the opportunity to comment on the prospective consultants submitting proposals to serve as the qualified independent third-party consultant to the commission in the avoided cost proceedings. I also move that the clerk's office serve a copy of this directive on the parties in the 2023 avoided cost dockets involving DESC, DEC, and DEP. Interested parties may review the prospective consultant's responses to questions and conflict check letters on the document management system in docket numbers 2025-15E, 2025-16E, and 2025-17E. Additionally, the video recordings of the public interviews of the prospective consultants are available for viewing on the Commission's website under the Live Stream tab and are marked as 11/7/2024 Special Commission Business Meeting Part 1 and 11/7/24 Special Commission Business Meeting Part 2. Any party desiring to provide feedback must submit comments in docket numbers 2025-15E, 2025-16E, and 2025-17E no later than December the 6th, 2024. Further, and based on this extension for feedback from interested parties, the clerk is directed to schedule a new date by which the commission will make its decision regarding the hiring of qualified independent third-party consultants. So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner Thomas. Having heard the motion by Commissioner Thomas, is any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to a roll call vote, beginning with Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Vice Chair Williams.
I vote aye.
Commissioner Williams.
Aye.
Commissioner Belser.
Aye.
Commissioner Caston.
Aye.
And I vote aye. The motion carries.
Mr. Chairman, item number 4 has been deleted from the agenda. So moving on to item number 5, which is in docket number 2024-270E. Staff recommends that this item be carried over.
The item will be carried over to the next meeting.
Item number 6 appears in dockets numbered 2024-317E and ND 2024-42E. This is a request from Duke Energy Carolinas LLC and Duke Energy Progress LLC for a waiver, nunc-pro-tunc, of commission regulations and service regulations as part of the company's response to Hurricane Helene.
Having heard item number 6, do I hear a motion?
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Belser.
thank you. Following Hurricane Helene moving through and impacting South Carolina on September 26th and 27th, 2024, Duke Energy Carolinas LLC and Duke Energy Progress LLC, collectively I will refer to as the companies, provided several reports of restoration efforts and progress to the Commission and the Office of Regulatory Staff. These reports were placed on the docket management system in ND, standing for non-docket, 2024-42-E. In its report of October 4th, 2024, the companies advised that they were implementing a suite of accommodations for customers who were without power through Sunday, September 29th, 2024. These accommodations or initiatives included waiving late payment fees for 30 days, no disconnection for non-payment for 30 days, waiving connection fees for customers whose relocation was due to impacts from Hurricane Helene, waiving deposits for customers whose new service was due to impacts from Hurricane Helene, and continuing availability of payment plans for customers unable to pay amounts due. On November 14, 2024, the companies filed the instant request for waiver, nunc-pro-tunc, of certain commission regulations, as well as certain of the company's service regulations, in order to implement customer initiatives and other issues and address other issues which arose in the aftermath of Hurricane Helene. The companies explained that they had prioritized restoration activities following Hurricane Helene, and that formalization of actions for the benefit of its customers took some time. Further, the companies also identified that a waiver is needed to waive customer connection fees for impacted customers, and that a waiver is needed to allow for deviation from the regulations related to delayed and estimated bills. I move the Commission grant the request of Duke Energy Carolinas LLC and Duke Energy Progress LLC and authorize the requested waivers nunc-pro-tunc and through November 30, 2024 as follows. To waive and/or suspend the assessment of late payment fees that would otherwise be applicable to its eligible residential and non-residential customers. To temporarily waive connection fees for customers who indicate their relocation is due to impacts from Hurricane Helene. To temporarily waive DEC's Service Regulations Section 2, which provides that a new customer under a metered rate schedule shall pay the company a connection charge of $8 when DEC first supplies electricity to the customer, and DEP Service Regulations Section 5, which provides that a new customer under any applicable metered schedule shall pay the company a service charge of $8 and a revert to owner customer shall pay a service charge of $1. Connection charges that a new customer under a metered rate schedule would pay. And to allow waiver of any applicable regulations and service regulations nunc-pro-tunc to authorize the companies to implement and continue to offer on a temporary basis these accommodations. Additionally, I move to temporarily waive nunc-pro-tunc and until further notice South Carolina Code and Annotated Regs 103-321 and 103-339 and applicable service regulations of the companies to allow the companies to delay mailing bills retroactively until power is restored in significantly impacted areas or deliver more than one estimated bill within a 60-day period in areas less impacted. The companies are directed to notify the Commission when these waivers are no longer necessary. The companies are also directed to keep the Commission apprised of the number of bills impacted by the waiver of these regulations and service regulations by filing reports every 60 days with the Commission and the Office of Regulatory Staff on the number of bills impacted by these waivers. I move the Commission find that the impacts of Hurricane Helene have presented extenuating circumstances that prevent the companies from, among other things, reading meters promptly and rendering bills on schedule. Further, I move the Commission find that the impacts of Hurricane Helene have caused unusual difficulties for strict compliance with these regulations discussed, that waiver of these regulations is appropriate, and that the requested waivers are not contrary to the public interest. So move.
Thank you, Commissioner Belser. Is there any further discussion?
Chairman,
Commissioner
if I may,
Belser.
I would just like to thank the companies for keeping the Commission apprised through the earlier progress reports that have been put in that non-docketed item. I think I know that everyone working for all the utilities in South Carolina were extremely busy during that time, and I know that I personally appreciated just having an idea of what was going on. I also applaud and thank the company for working with their customers during these difficult times for the customers that have been impacted by providing these accommodations to them. I don't want to cause additional work for the company, but I do think it's important for the companies to keep the Commission and ORS apprised of the number of customers that are impacted by these waivers, and in particular, the Office of Regulatory Staff. And while I know that the Office of Regulatory Staff and the companies can talk freely, whereas we can't talk about these matters with them outside of the context of a proceeding, I think that those reports could help the Office of Regulatory Staff, because customers with complaints will be contacting the Office of Regulatory Staff, and I think it's just very important to keep them in the loop of what's going on. And I'm sure the companies are doing that, but I do think that the reports may help. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner Belser. And I think we all join in the appreciation for the work the company's had to do under some very, very strange and difficult circumstances. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll have a roll call vote, beginning with Commissioner Belser,
I vote aye.
Commissioner Caston,
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas,
Aye.
Vice Chair Williams,
I vote aye.
Commissioner Williams,
Aye.
and I vote aye. The motion carries.
Item number 7 appears in dockets numbered 2022-151WS, 2022-161W, 2022-166W, and 2022-167W. This is a request from CSWR South Carolina Utility Operating Company, LLC, for confidential treatment of the attachments to its customer report for the third quarter of 2024.
Having heard the motion number 7 as presented by Mr. Scarborough, do I hear a motion?
Chair Powers,
Commissioner Caston,
I move that the commission grant the request of CSWR South Carolina Utility Operating Company, LLC, for confidential treatment of the attachments to the third quarter of its 2024 customer report.
thank you, Commissioner Caston. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll have a roll call vote, beginning with Commissioner Caston,
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas,
Aye.
Vice Chair Williams,
Aye.
Commissioner Williams,
I vote aye.
Commissioner Belser,
Aye.
and I vote aye. The motion carries.
Item number 8 is in docket number 2024-301E. This is a request from Duke Energy Carolinas, LLC, and Duke Energy Progress, LLC, to delay the establishment of a procedural schedule for this docket.
That's to item number 8. Do I hear a motion?
Chair Powers.
Commissioner Thomas,
On November the 5th, 2024, Duke Energy Carolinas LLC and Duke Energy Progress LLC, collectively, the companies filed a joint application for approval of motions to on-site generation service and premier power service programs and a request that a procedural schedule not yet be established for this docket with the commission. The companies also asserted that approval of the modifications will not require a determination of the entire rate structure and overall rate of return, and requested approval without the need for a hearing pursuant to SC Code Annotated Section 58-27-870F. The companies requested that a procedural schedule not yet be established for the docket so that interested stakeholders who may not have been involved in discussions to date can review the proposed modifications to the programs and participate in additional discussions with the companies. In order to continue the company's ongoing engagement with stakeholders, the companies plan to host an open virtual stakeholder meeting for South Carolina customers and entities who are interested in discussing the matter. The companies plan to provide an update to the commission once that session is completed. SC Code Annotated Regs 103-817-3 sets forth that after any pleading has been accepted for filing, the chief clerk may, A, within 14 days, provide the party filing the pleading a notice of filing. Under Regulation 103-817, the clerk may also set a date for a hearing, as well as set a time and place for any public hearing. That's SC Code Annotated Regs 103-817B and C. Because the regulation requires a notice of filing be issued within 14 days, I move that the commission waive the requirement in Regulation 103-817-3 that the notice of filing be issued within 14 days of acceptance of the application, and grant the request of Duke Energy Carolinas LLC and Duke Energy Progress LLC to delay the establishment of a procedural schedule for this docket by the clerk's office. The company shall notify the commission after the stakeholder discussions have concluded and when the docket is ready to move forward. So moved.
thank you, Commissioner Thomas. Having heard the motion made by Commissioner Thomas, do I hear any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll have a roll call vote, beginning with Commissioner Thomas,
Aye.
Vice Chair Williams,
I vote aye.
Commissioner Carolyn Williams,
I vote aye.
Commissioner Belser,
Aye.
Commissioner Caston,
Aye.
and I vote aye. The motion carries.
Item number 9 appears in a host of dockets, all of which are listed in today's agenda. This item concerns a request from Duke Energy Carolinas LLC and Duke Energy Progress LLC to establish a new docket relating to their joint application for approval of modifications to certain demand-side management and energy efficiency programs.
Thank you, Ms. Scarborough. Do I hear a motion?
Mr. Chair.
Vice Chair Williams, you have
Thank you,
the floor.
Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, fellow commissioners, I move that the commission acknowledge the creation of docket number 2024-303E by the clerk's office, which shall serve as a single current docket to consider the proposed modifications to the DSMEE programs pursuant to the company's October 29th, 2024 letter and the later letter on November 8th, 2024. As a result of the creation of docket number 2024-303E, the request of the Duke companies requires no further action from the commission, excuse me. So moved.
Thank you, Vice Chair Williams. Having heard the motion by Vice Chair Williams, do I hear any further discussion? Hearing none, we will have a roll call vote, beginning with Vice Chair Williams,
I vote aye.
Commissioner Williams,
Aye.
Commissioner Belser,
Aye.
Commissioner Caston,
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas,
Aye.
and I vote aye. The motion carries.
Mr. Chairman, that completes the utilities agenda before the commission. Moving on to the motor carrier agenda, in Part A, we have 7 applications for new Class E and Class C certificates. We can address these items together. Item A1 is in docket number 2024-290T, which is the application of Shamikia Ratliff for a Class C non-emergency certificate. Item A2 appears in docket number 2024-292T. This is the application of Rajan Cannon for a Class C taxi certificate. Item A3 appears in docket number 2024-297T. This is the application of Home of the Brave Moving, LLC, doing business as Home of the Brave Company, for a Class E household goods certificate. Item A4 is in docket number 2024-295T. This is the application of Super Nannies Taxi, LLC, for a Class C charter certificate. Item A5 is in docket number 2024-296T. This is the application of Integrity Medical Transportation, LLC, for a Class C non-emergency certificate. Item A6 is in docket number 2024-299T. This is the application of Your Movers, LLC, for a Class E household goods certificate. And item A7 is in docket number 2024-300T, which is the application of Quality Rides Transportation, LLC, for a Class C non-emergency certificate.
Mr. Chairman, I would ask for clarification of item A3.
A3, yes.
Could you just
Ms. Scarborough, I think you read it as Home of the Brave Company, and it should be Home of the Brave Moving Company.
Thank you. Home of the Brave Moving Company. Yes, that is what it should be. Thank you very much for the correction.
Thank you. Having heard items A1 through A7 as presented by Ms. Scarborough, do I hear a motion?
Chair Powers?
Commissioner Williams,
Thank you. I move that the commission approve the applications for Class C and Class E certificates in item numbers A1 through A7 as identified by Mr. Scarborough. A direct order will be issued for the application in the respective docket.
thank you, Commissioner Williams. Having heard the motion by Commissioner Williams, is there any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll begin a roll call vote, beginning with Commissioner Williams,
I vote aye.
Commissioner Belser,
Aye.
Commissioner Caston,
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas,
Aye.
Vice Chair Williams,
Aye.
and I vote aye. The motion carries.
In Part B of the transportation agenda, we have 6 requests for extensions of time that we can take together. Item B1 is in docket number 2024-216T. This is a request from TC Transportation Services, LLC, for a 6-month extension of time to comply with commission rules and regulations. Item B2 appears in docket number 2024-129T, which is a request from Pepper Hill Sniff Operations, LLC, for an additional 3-month extension of time to comply with commission rules and regulations. Item B3 is in docket number 2024-223T, which is a request from LNW Service Transport LLC for a 12-month extension of time to comply with commission rules and regulations. Item B4 is in docket number 2024-222T. This is a request from Johnson Way Transport LLC for a 9-month extension of time to comply with commission rules and regulations. Item B5 is in docket number 2024-131T, which is a request from Transpire Transportation Services LLC for an additional 3-month extension of time to comply with commission rules and regulations. And item B6 is in docket number 2024-205T, which is a request from R&I Encounter Transportation Services LLC for a 6-month extension of time to comply with commission rules and regulations.
Thank you, Ms. Scarborough. Having heard items B1 through B6, do I hear a motion?
Chair Powers. I'd like to make a
Commissioner
motion.
Caston.
I move that the commission approve the request for extension in item numbers B1 through B6 as identified by Mr. Scarborough. A directive order will be issued for the application in the respective docket. So move.
Thank you, Commissioner Caston. Having heard the motion by Commissioner Caston, do I hear any further discussion? Hearing none, we move to a roll call vote, beginning with Commissioner Caston.
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Vice Chair Williams.
Aye.
Commissioner Carol Williams. Commissioner Belser.
Aye.
And I vote aye, the motion carries.
In Part C of the transportation agenda, we have 2 requests to amend applications. Item C1 is in docket number 2024-184T, which is a request from Carey Holdings LLC, doing business as All the Right Moves Packing and Storage, to amend its Class E household goods application to read Carey Holdings LLC, doing business as All the Right Moves Moving and Storage.
All right, as to items
C1, Mr.
C1
Chairman,
and C2,
just,
I think there was a correction to be made. Commissioner Belser,
I'm not aware of a correction.
I think we said the right moves moving in storage, and it's the right moves packing, moving in storage.
That's what I said. We're just taking item C1 separate from item C2.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I apologize for that.
That's all right.
I have a motion, if that
Thank you,
helps.
Commissioner Belser.
I move that the commission grant the request of Carey Holdings LLC, doing business as All the Right Moves Packing, Moving, and Storage, to amend its application for Class E household goods certificate to read Carey Holdings LLC, doing business as All the Right Moves Moving and Storage.
Thank you, Commissioner Belser. Having heard the motion
got it
is by Commissioner Belser, is any further discussion?
I just want to be clear that the motion was to delete packing from the new name, as well as add a 0 to moves. Not a 0, another O. So
That's-
it's moves.
That's correct. Haven't heard the motion. Any other further discussion? Hearing none, we have a roll call vote, beginning with Commissioner Belser.
I vote aye.
Commissioner Caston.
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Vice Chair Williams.
I vote aye.
Commissioner Williams. And I vote aye, the motion carries.
Item C2 is in docket number 2024-257T, which is a request from Island Thrifters LLC, doing business as Spence and Dave's Moving, to amend its application for a Class E household goods certificate to read Island Thrifters LLC, doing business as Spence and Dave's Junk Removal and Moving.
As to item C2, do I hear a motion?
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Belser.
I move that the commission grant the request of Island Thrifters LLC, doing business as Spence and Dave's Moving, to amend its application for Class E household goods certificate to read Island Thrifters LLC, doing business as Spence and Dave's Junk Removal and Moving.
Thank you, Commissioner Belser. Having heard the motion by Commissioner Belser, is any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll have a roll call vote, beginning with Commissioner Belser.
I vote aye.
Commissioner Caston,
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas,
Aye.
Vice Chair Williams,
I vote aye.
Commissioner Williams,
I vote aye.
and I vote aye. The motion carries.
In Part D of the transportation agenda, we have one request to suspend a certificate. Item D1 is in docket number 2022-330T. This is a request from True to You Transport Services, LLC, to suspend Class C non-emergency certificate number 9767 for 12 months.
As to item D1, do I hear a motion?
Chair Powers.
Vice Chair, Commissioner Thomas.
I move that the commission grant the request of True to You Transport Services LLC to suspend its Class C non-emergency certificate number 9767 until November the 6th, 2025.
Thank you, Commissioner Thomas. Is there any further discussion? If not, we'll proceed with the roll call vote, beginning with Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Vice Chair Williams,
I vote aye.
Commissioner Carolee Williams,
I vote aye.
Commissioner Belser,
Aye.
Commissioner Caston,
Aye.
and I vote aye. The motion carries.
In Part E of the transportation agenda, we have one request to amend a certificate. Item E1 appears in docket number 2013-272T, which is a request from Integrity Student Transportation Services, LLC, to amend Class C Charter Bus Certificate number 0346 to read Legacy Student Transport, LLC.
As to item E1, do I hear a motion?
Mr. Chair.
Vice Chair Williams,
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, fellow commissioners, on November 5th, 2022, Integrity Student Transportation Services, LLC, FKA Kareem Hassan Johnson, DBA Integrity Student Transportation Services, filed another request for name change since the Office of Regulatory Staff and the motor carrier did not change the company's name as directed on order number 2023-56, dated January 26, 2023. I move that the commission rescind order 2023-56 to prevent any confusion, for clarification that the motor carrier did not operate and was not authorized to operate as Legacy Student Transport, LLC, under certificate number 0346. I further move that the commission grant the request of the company filed on November 5th, 2024 to change its name on Class C Charter Bus Certificate number 0346 to read Legacy Student Transport, LLC. So moved.
thank you, Vice Chair Williams. Having heard the motion by the Vice Chair, is there any further discussion? Hearing
Chair
none,
Powers.
Commissioner Thomas.
Just wanted to clarify the first date. The first date that was mentioned, I believe, should be November the 5th, 2024. Is just for clarification.
Thank you, Commissioner Thomas, and the record will reflect that. We'll now proceed to a roll call vote, beginning with Vice Chair Williams.
I vote aye.
Commissioner Williams,
Aye.
Commissioner Belser,
Aye.
Commissioner Caston,
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas,
Aye.
and I vote aye. The motion carries.
Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, this concludes all business noticed before the commission today.
Thank you very much, Mr. Scarborough. We will see you all in 2 weeks. If you're traveling for Thanksgiving, please be careful and be patient with others. We are adjourned.